Close your eyes. Imagine you're facing something you find unconquerable or something that has control over you. Now, imagine screaming at that thing, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. These words close the song Invictus. They're powerful, aren't they? I, along with others, feel as though these words empower listeners to be the change in their lives, to be their own person, and to overcome anything. For me, these words, along with the song's clashing chordal cadences, help describe how I overcame peer pressure and am confident now in being myself. Firstly, I did overcome peer pressure. I had previously been like a wave, just going with the flow. For example, in 8th grade, my friend said I had to try out for the soccer team. We'd been playing at recess a little bit, so they said I'd be good enough to be goalie. I was in band and choir, so I really wasn't a big fan of sports. To be blunt, I didn't make it. Throughout that year, we had a ton of stereotypical middle school dances, many of which I went to because my friend said I had to. At one party in December, almost all my friends were dancing, and I was sitting talking to my friend David Silva. He was kind of like me in the sense that we just went with the flow. We didn't really have a choice. I set my fruit punch down and asked him if he wanted to go over the fence with me and climb some trees. To my surprise, he said yes, and we went to the neighbor's house and went up and down. I thought to myself how fun it was to make my own decisions, and that I would do that more often. A month later, the flag football team held tryouts, and I thought I'd try it out. My friends, on the other hand, said I wouldn't have a chance and I shouldn't. I decided to think for myself, though. And guess who made it and was MVP? It's actually true. After seeing how fun it was to make my own decisions, and not having my hand held by my friend when coming to those decisions, I started to grow stronger and more independent. At the end of football season, the coach's son had a party for the team and all of his jock friends. I'm sure it wouldn't surprise you to find out that the kid's parents weren't home and he got his brother to buy booze. Later in the evening, he busted out the drinks. Almost everyone grabbed the bottles, but I just sat talking to a few others. Eventually, some jocks came over to hand me a bottle, but I politely declined. They got a little noisier, but I stood my ground. I threatened to leave if they kept asking me, and the host heard and came over and told them to stop. I'd become good friends with him, so he wanted to stand up for me. The old me would have caved in, but the new me, as Invictus stated, I thank whatever God may be for my unconquerable soul. At that time, I was surprised how successful standing up for myself was. From then on, I learned to think from even bad and unlucky scenarios, I could make my way through, no matter what. The song continues, in the fell clutch of circumstance, my head is bloodied but unbowed. Secondly, I've learned to be confident in myself, that I used to worry too much about fitting in. Throughout middle school, I was labeled as a social butterfly because I could fit in with anyone, but mostly because I just did what they did. From the end of 8th grade onward, in high school so far, I'm not afraid to be myself, because people who I like want me to be myself and enjoy my unique personality. As Henley wrote, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. Being willing to be myself wasn't always as helpful as it would seem, however. In the end, thankfully, my actions proved to be for the best. Last December, in the middle of sophomore year, 2 people in my friend group instigated an argument against me based on my moral beliefs. They were pretty controlling of others, so they stopped my friends from joining and helping support my side. They kicked me from our group chat, which was pretty petty, and they yelled in the hallways at my friends whenever they tried to say hi to me. It was hard to deal with, but I went on a school retreat with some of my middle school friends, and I remembered how fun it was to hang out with them. I got a text from my friend in the other friend group a couple months later saying that the 2 people that rejected me from my friend group were kicked and that the others wanted to have me back. Through me wanting to be myself, others cut off a toxic relationship, so I felt pretty good. When I left that high school and transferred to College Academy here, not only did my friends throw me a farewell party, but the 2 argumentative girls that finally apologized and helped organize it. The song continues, it matters not how straight the gate or how charged with punishment the scroll. This reminds me that I'm not perfect, but I can make through even dark times with my determination and personality. To summarize, being myself hasn't always been easy. for having to blend in through peer pressure was necessary for me growing up. However, as Invictus described, individuality and self-drive helped sculpt me into the person I am today. I've grown to be a leader in my friend groups and other after-school activities. Making friends is more enjoyable and no longer a hassle for me because I know that being myself is what others look for. Invictus reminds me of a time of big change in my life and how I was able to make it through. As Henley stated in the words of the song, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Thank you.